This is the restaurant deck. Early morning, it's about 7:15. We start breakfast at 7:30, another 15 minutes or so. Nice and calm and quiet Christmas morning. And that's the sun coming up over the mountains way back east. Kissing the property. This is looking towards downtown. Then over to the west end. Still pretty early. Not really anybody out here on the beach. It'll definitely pick up later. Alright, Merry Christmas everyone. Today we're going to do a little tour, very short tour. Okay, so of course, starting here at Travelers, and we'll probably go up maybe 2 miles, maybe. We'll see. See where the legs take us. I'm not gonna run hard at all today. Did 17 miles yesterday, so definitely taking it relaxed today. But let's get started. Start my watch, and we're going. I realized very quickly that this is probably not going to be the best footage of me running on the beach in terms of the shakiness. Because if I turn my camera around, it's going to get way more shaky. But I will stop and film where and when I can. Alright, just ran up by Alfred's. It's maybe like half a mile from Travelers. Used to have a lot of live music. I still think they have live music here, but not what it once was. If those remember what it was like back in the day. But they also have like beach volleyball tournaments, or they used to at least. And I do believe that this is where they're going to be doing fireworks from on New Year's Eve. At least they used to from that barge out there. Alright, Alfred's, let's keep it moving. Alright, we're still going here. We're about a mile and a quarter in. Up by Margaritaville, and looks like we're gonna hit 2 miles, so I think we are. But hold on, I'll show you exactly where we are. We got Margaritaville, and Travelers is, where's Travelers? Somewhere over there. We'll figure it out. I think it's over there. We'll figure it out. Keep going up. Gonna keep it moving. All right, just hit the turnaround points. We are just at Beaches, at the end of Beaches. A little over 2 miles in. Feeling good. Still pretty cool out here. The sun is like not beaming at this point, so it's pretty nice. I think it's around 7:30. I can't check my watch right now, but let me give you an idea of where we are. 1 second. So that's heading back downtown. I don't think you can see Travelers because it's on the bend, but that's where we came from. This is the rest of the beach. So you got Hedonism, then Point Village right at that tip right there, and then of course Booby Cay Island. What else is left here? You basically have Long Bay, which is public beach. That's where Reggae Marathon ends, so which is like kind of right tucked away over there. And then after that, you have Azul. Then you have Boardwalk, and there's one in between, but I forget the name of it. And then after Boardwalk is Sandals, and then right next to Sandals is, so that's Sandals right there, and then right next to Sandals is Hedonism, and that pretty much is the end of the beach, so to speak, at least on the northern end. And then Then you go into Bloody Bay, which is the other 2 miles that I always talk about, which is where the reuse are. And can't really get over there right now. All right, I think you have to be staying over there. I feel like you can get there somehow, but I don't know how, like publicly that is. But yeah, this is beaches. This is what we were talking about on the last live stream I did on Wednesday about their new rooms that they have here. And this is gonna be beautiful because like look what you have to look at and wake up to every morning is the ocean. It's like right there the whole time. Morning, yes. So yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful view. I don't know which these are or what they are, but like, you know, it's Sandals. Obviously they're gonna do a marvelous world-class job with these things. Maybe we'll get a tour. You know, when it's all said and done, would love to do a tour and see what that view is like and what the rooms and everything are like. But oh wait, you can see, I guess that's like the rendition right there of what they're gonna look like. Let's go take a look real quick. Hope I'm not intruding or impeding, but I always get excited about this stuff, especially when it has to do with Negril and investing here. And like I've been saying, you know, they're obviously seeing a lot of potential and are very bullish on Jamaica and Negril, as am I. All right, a little bit of a rant, but let's get back home. All right, just stopped here at Couples, which is another very nice all-inclusive off the beach here. I believe it's adults only, but definitely for couples. It's made for couples, right? And yeah, probably got a mile and a half to the end of the beach, which we're not running that way. We're actually going to be running back down this way. Got less than 20 minutes to go. I'm gonna keep it moving, but this was nice lighting, so I figured I'd stop and share. Forgot that I did a leg workout last night too, after running those 17 miles in the morning. That's really why my legs are feeling a little wobbly. Just sharing where I'm at right now. So a lot of people ask me about where a good vegan place to go is, and this is where I send everybody. Rasta Aid. I've actually never eaten here, but everybody tells me it's really, really good. This is about half a mile up from Travelers, half a mile north from Travelers. A little more than half a mile, yeah. Slightly over half a mile. But cool spot. I'll get here some point and have some food and be able to personally recommend it at some point in time. But I hear great things, great reviews. Again, everybody I send here is very happy with it. Rasta Aid. All right, back to it. And that's all she wrote. Back to Travelers. We did 41 minutes together. 4.34 miles, 4.35 miles, I should say. 9:35 per mile pace. Contemplating jumping in the water, but it's a little late. So I think that's it. And we're gonna stretch it out for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that tour, mini tour. If you like it, we can do it again. We can show off some more properties and different parts of the beach at a later time when we do this again, if you want me to do this again. But that was fun for me, nice and relaxed, no worries. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled program. See you guys later. Afternoon, everyone. There I am. Hope everybody is having a nice Sunday, a relaxing Sunday. Hopefully everybody's just chilling out. I am reporting to you live from 7 Mile here in Negril, Jamaica. and it is a very, very, very warm one. Let me check the weather actually, but it is, and it's been that way. 88 degrees right now. This is like some August weather, and it seems like it's gonna be like that like for the entire week. 88, 89, 90 Fahrenheit, of course, which is, I mean, I guess it's June, so what can you expect? But usually this doesn't come on. This type of heat doesn't come till end of July into August. But here we are. But it is a pretty beautiful day. It's a little blown out, but there is we got some overcast. Those white clouds that you see there. But for the most part, it's been nice. So like the overcast, we had a lot of overcast this morning, and then it kind of turned sunny. I thought it was going to storm, but it didn't. We've been getting some good rain that is much needed. I was even having a conversation with some folks this morning, and they were saying that, particularly on the West End, there are people now getting essentially having water 24 hours a day instead of either not having water at all or being on some sort of water cycle, if you will. So it's good. The rain is helping. I know the visitors don't like it, but it is so needed, and it's helping to improve on things as far as water goes. And we're going to talk about that today as well, in respect to just some updates that we have with ours, the continuation of the updates that I've been giving with respect to the investments being made here in the West. With water, we got some actual construction activity that's happening here in Negril on the West End that has to do with the water and also fixing the road, which I believe I mentioned on Thursday on the Diaspora live stream. And speaking of that, we're a week out until the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference starts, which is next Sunday, the 16th, is actually the starting date of the Diaspora Conference. And if you haven't already, get your tickets. They are based on the meeting that I went to with the conference organizers. There has been a serious uptick in ticket purchases. So I don't know what that necessarily means. Is there a risk of you not being able to get in? I hope not. But if you're thinking about it, contemplating going, I would highly recommend that you do that. So let me put in the comment section here to get it a little bit easier for everybody. A little bit easier to get the tickets and get any extra information that you'd need on that. We've been doing this series, if you aren't aware, the last 2 Thursdays, been interviewing different people who are going to be speakers and moderators at the Diaspora Conference next week. And it's been good. I've learned a lot, and we're actually chopping them up and trying to make them into shorts and reels so people can get like the nitty-gritty information on on the conference, and also the little things that we learned. Other things going on, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we have Leia Castleberry, who is coming on. She's going to be on in about another less than 20 minutes at the top of the hour. And we're going to be learning about her African Diaspora coloring book series. And she's donated a bunch of them. I wish I had them, but I gave them all away. I guess they're in the right hands, right? She donated a bunch of them to NEAT and to our kids for our nonprofit organization. And for those who are unaware, my family has a nonprofit organization, the Negril Education Environment Trust, where we focus on providing educational materials and tools, and also doing a bunch of, I would say throughout the year, I think we have about 4 cohorts of classes that we teach here at Travelers Beach Resort, where 25 students and 25 parents, actually this one is I think a little bit bigger than that, but essentially they come every Saturday and we teach them different life skills and things that we find are important to learn outside of your traditional academic education. And yeah, it's been going well, and Leia has donated a bunch of those books over, not just the last time she was here in Jamaica, but even before that. So we have her coming on at the top of the hour. Excuse me. Have her coming on at the top of the hour, and to learn more about her books and what she does and why she loves Jamaica. And then what else we got going on? And then we'll just go through our normal updates. So we'll probably cycle through our normal agenda after the conversation with Leia, and then we can take it from there. Also, we had a great. We'll talk about this afterwards after the interview as well. I don't want to cut it short. We had a great Throppers Think Taken meeting yesterday, and some information that I want to, based on the discussions that we were having, we not decided, but it's like a lot of stuff we want to bring out and hear what everybody has to say on certain topics that we were talking about, certain ideas. And I think it's great. And I love doing these things. And for those that are unaware, I do these monthly. I'll just throw up one of the older posters that we had. I do these monthly live stream, like closed door live streams, if you will, on Zoom, and this is just like a way for us to interact directly. Like I love doing this in the comments and it's great, but this is like a real chance for like real-time interaction, conversation. And I always tell people like, come on these things and like, let's go deep, let's go super granular on like whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And we were able to do that yesterday, and I was able to like I said in the stream, like use a side of my brain that I haven't used in a long time. We were like talking specifically about Jamaican taxes versus US taxes, and the pros and the cons. Setting, is it better to set up a business here in Jamaica and in the United States, or just Jamaica? And so we kind of went back and forth. And then also it was not only like leveraging my experience, but the experience of other people in the group who have businesses in Jamaica and in the United States, in Airbnb, real estate, import, export. And it was just a really, really, really great conversation. And like I said, I exercise a part of my brain that I haven't used in a long time. And I think this kind of stuff is very important to just understand before coming here, because like everybody has like a different situation that they're working with. Some people are single, some people have families, some people have never started a business before, some people have no idea how the Jamaican tax system works. Probably and even if you're in America, probably maybe not even have an idea how the American tax system works. And I always like recommending the people and the professionals that I use both here, and then even in the States. We're talking again taxes, so we were talking about accounting and accounting firms and accountants that I use, that I've found to be reliable, and also I've learned so much from them over the years. So we will get into that again after the interview with Leia. But in the meantime, please, I know some people have already done it. Please let me know where you're chiming in from, what city, what state, what country. Always love to hear it. And let's go through some comments here. And ends says, hello. Thanks for the videos of the different views in the Negril drop. You are welcome. And it's been so difficult to with my schedule lately to like film new content, like specifically for the stream. And I want to, and I'm really, really working hard to clear my schedule, because like I love doing those types of running videos. And I think it's just like a huge competitive advantage. Like how many YouTubers can go on 20-mile runs and show off different places, not only in Negril, but around the world. And so I want to do more of that and share that with you all. But also, I will say, as I tore my meniscus, which I'm sure you've heard me say before, but we're on the mend. We're running a couple times a week, and I can't wait to share like these much, much, much longer runs with you all. Oh, there is speaking of runs, that's Fireman. He's a big runner here in Negril, running across your screen to the right, and he is very inspirational. Always running reggae marathon every single year. Always looking out for me when we're on the course. He's always just like, "Oh, you got 2 ahead of you. You got 3 ahead of you." He's down by Rio, like when we're going the race, because it's like a loops race. So always appreciate Fire. So yeah, looking forward to sharing more of Negril in different ways, whether it's on foot or in a vehicle or on a bike. And so I've been doing a lot of bike riding, if you've been following me on Instagram, and I've been sharing some of those rides with you all. So I've been just like looping around. I've been looping around Negril for the most part, and that's been a lot of fun. Donna Bryce says, happy Sunday, Throp and Throppers from Ottawa with thunderstorms. Okay, thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. And Donna says, please hit the like button on the way in, Throp family. Yes, would very much appreciate that. Dr. Donna, the art appraiser, says, beautiful view. Thank you. I believe Dr. Donna's referring to the beach run that I played earlier. Eddie Weaver, hello from Dallas. Welcome, Eddie. Thanks for joining us. Kingston 16, good afternoon from California. Awesome. Belua Wellington, hello, Throp and Throppers. Soldress, hello. Thanks for joining. Donna asked, did you ever get to eat at Rasta Aid, Throp? Nope, still have not eaten there. It's crazy. It's crazy. As much as I recommend it, I haven't had the chance to go there yet, but I will at some point. I will at some point. I keep saying that. Chad Wayne says, good day, Throp. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you as well. Donna Bryce said, I heard one of the smaller hotels on the beach road bought their own water truck. Yeah, that was, I don't know if you're talking about Gail from Negril Treehouse, but I saw that post as well. So just grabbing another water. It's so hot right now. Sweating like crazy. We can't even see it. But anyway, yeah. So Gail from the Go Treehouse, she posted on Facebook that she got her own water truck, which I honestly think is a good move. And so I'll get into it a little bit before we get into the interview here. So there is I think it's a 3-year plan that was announced by the Prime Minister of essentially getting water from Trelawney. I forget which river. Is it oh man, I have the article. I mean, it might be Martha Brae. It might be Martha Brae. I stand to be corrected on that. But from there, basically all the way to Negril, and we're going to be part of this this much larger system. But they've been talking about this for at least 10 years. Not this particular aspect of it, but interconnecting Jamaica's water system. So you can get water from anywhere to anywhere at any given time. You know, if one part of the country is suffering from drought or something like that, water can go in that direction. And I think because of what's been happening with essentially the suffering that Negril has been going through, this plan has been expedited or pushed through, whatever happened, but it's been announced, approved, and actually work is already starting on this. But to get to the point, and then might I add, is that the investment in the water infrastructure is to be able to supply the oncoming investments that we've always talked about. We talked about the I was gonna say the Pinnacle, the Princess Hotel. We're talking about Wyndham, I believe and this is all in Green Island, like 15 minutes from Negril. Princess Hotel, Wyndham, which is 500 or maybe 500, and then there's another one that's at near Pineapple Beach, which is not even Green Island. That's more closer to Orange Bay, and I believe that's 500 or 800. I might be mixing them up, but it's all within 15 minutes of Negril, and all these very, very large hotels coming. And we're obviously, the ones who are here are very concerned about the water supply situation. So anyway, the announcement that was made was to cover that. But in order, that's going to take time. This is going to, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's going to be like 3 years. So going back to Gail Jackson Brooks and her decision to buy a water truck, I think that is a very, very smart move. And because I wouldn't say there's no guarantee we're going to be in this situation for it's like I said before, we've never had this situation. This is unprecedented, where literally people have not had water come through their pipes since the beginning of the year. And hotels, even last night, I was driving past a hotel on the northern part of the beach, and they had literally 9 water trucks waiting outside their property to fill up their tanks. I was like, this is crazy. This has never happened in the history of Negril. From what I've been told, and I've been here 18 years, and I know in the 18 years that I've been here, it's never happened. So nonetheless, I do think she's making a great investment and kind of preparing for the next 3 years. All right, let's keep going here. I just want to get through all the comments before we welcome Leia on, and she'll be on in 5 minutes. Peter, always missing Jamaica today. I'm breathing Arkansas air, but still Jamaican blood flowing in my veins. Awesome. Sojourner says registering 100 degrees driving past Ocala, Florida. That's crazy. Ficus, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Chiming in from London, Natasha says, hi, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday in Atlanta. However, I was in Negril 2 weeks ago. My first time in Negril. It was extremely hot. I wasn't ready for it. However, the rain helped. Awesome, awesome. So happy you were able to pop in and visit for the first time. Yeah, very warm here. Suzette, hello. Happy Sunday to you. What's going on, Joe? Good to see you. Mosaic Travel and Tourist. Nika, nice to have you on. Lisa Marie, hello, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday, chiming in from lovely Connecticut. That's like all like 3 Throppers think tankers in a row. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. I appreciate my Patreons. I appreciate my channel members so much. Really, really do. I thank you guys so much for the support that you're giving me and being able to do this. Really, really appreciate it. Daddy Ventures watching from Grimsby, England. Nice to have you on. Mark McCarthy, greetings, hailing from Brooklyn, New York. Big up, Throp, and the community. One love. Mark, man, you have a friend here here at Travelers. Just talking about you yesterday, as a matter of fact. I forget their name, but they referenced you and they said they knew you and your wife. So I was like, yeah, of course I know Mark McCarthy. So that was cool, making these connections. Tisha, good to see you. Another Thropper think tanker. Nice to have you on. Thank you for joining. Shar Treehouse says, greetings all Sunday Throppers. Former track runner here. Glad the water scenario in the grill is improving. Some water shutdowns, but hot and showery in St. Lucia today. Is conference online? I'm assuming the Diaspora conference. No, there is no. The Diaspora conference is not online. But Throp X conference is online, and also our 2023 Throp X conference. If you're a virtual attendee or an in-person attendee, you now have access to the to all of the video sessions that we had. So that's up and running. Oh, and what did you run, by the way? Said you're a track athlete. Weeze Collins says, hi, Throb. We still doing our video next time I come there? Which video would that be? Shelly Miller says, hey, Shelly, what's going on? Missing the grill. I can't wait to welcome you back. Awesome, awesome. Donna Bright says, was in a Zoom for travel agents in Princess Hotel, did a presentation where they stated the hotel is located on the 7 Mile beach. I politely corrected them, as many agents have been misinformed. Thank you for that. And that happens a lot. You know, even Grand Palladium, they say they're in Negril. Like, come on. Like, this is like, what are we doing here? And I don't know how we can. I think as a community, we need to do some sort of trademark or something like that. I mean, because like Grand Palladium's 45 minutes from Negril. Like, let's be serious here. And they're trying to use our name to get people, trick people to go there, which is, you know, not cool in so many ways. What's going on, Michael? Listening from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Say hi to Winston. I believe his birthday is coming up soon. That's right. Thank you for that. His birthday's on Sunday. I will pass along the message. Oh, Weeds conspiracy. I got you. Yeah. We'll do the sit down. I remember. Miss Cole, what is going on? Thanks for joining. All right, got through all the comments right on time. So I think we are ready to welcome our guest on. And for those who are just joining, you can tell by the thumbnail and title, we have a guest this afternoon who is the founder of a coloring book series called Coloring the African Diaspora. And we have Leia Castleberry. How you doing, Leia? Oh, you're on mute, just to let you know.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you as well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm a little bit sad that I'm not sitting there doing this interview live with you from 7 Mile, but I just will have to book a trip so we can do a part two.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I know I wanted to do it when you were here, but like time wouldn't allow. This is the second best option that we had, but
Oh,
we're making it happen. We're making it work.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Okay, it's a little choppy. I don't. Is anybody else experiencing that? I hope it's not just me. If it's just me, I can work through it. But if anybody can just give me that feedback. If can you hear Leia clearly and everything like that?
Is this better? Is this better? Can you hear
I can.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Okay, so to start with, if you can just give us a brief introduction of yourself,
Sure.
and then we can get into what you do.
Sounds good. Well, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Leia Castleberry. I am joining y'all from the south side of Chicago, where I am born and raised and still live. I am the founder of Unity Hues. Our mission is to foster meaningful human connection through culture and creativity, and best known for our Coloring the African Diaspora series, which is a collection of coloring books that celebrates the beauty and diversity of people of African descent. And so I'm so happy to be here because I also love Negril and I love travelers. And with the Jamaican Diaspora Conference coming up and Juneteenth coming up, the timing is perfect. So happy to be here.
I was thinking the same thing. Timing is amazingly, amazingly perfect,
Absolutely.
and very happy to have you on. So to start with, like, what inspired you to even do this in the first place?
Yes, absolutely. So I, like I mentioned, was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. My father is a musician. He taught jazz in the Chicago public school system for over 20 years. He's a jazz, blues. He does many genres, but through his music, he was able to travel the world, and he kind of gave me that travel bug as well. And I was finishing up grad school at the very onset of the pandemic, and I had all these goals and travel experiences that I wanted to have immediately finishing school. And when the pandemic hit, I couldn't do that. And I said, well, how can I still explore some of these places without physically going there and also share them with others as well? And so that was how I created my first coloring book. The volume one edition, which features different cities of significance across the diaspora, including Negril. And I got a chance to include some of my favorite places that I've been, but also include some places that I hope to go in the future as well. So that's kind of how I got started, and it's just grown and evolved from there.
Awesome, awesome. I was saying before you got on, I wish I had some of your books, but I gave them all away.
Well,
So yeah.
yes, please check them out. You can go to unityhues.com. There are 4 different editions. And what I didn't realize at the time when I created them was that it's such a great opportunity for fostering conversation as well as teaching young people. So the images are a little bit detailed, but I found that, so I created them more so as an adult coloring book because I had adults in mind and thinking about how we can take a break from the screens and how we can tap into that activity that we used to do as children for stress relief and relaxation. But I found that a lot of parents and teachers and educators love the books because they are great teaching tools for understanding what is a diaspora, what does it mean to be a part of a global community, and so they're really great for people of all ages for that reason.
And just so everybody knows, all of the links to the Amazon links, your websites, and your Instagram are all in the description below, so you can easily just click below and you can check them out yourself.
Thank you.
And so, what made you say like a coloring book, and as opposed to like a traditional, perhaps storybook or a novel or something of that nature?
I think you know, I have grown up around artists my entire life, and I would consider myself a creative person, um, but wouldn't just self-describe myself as an artist. But I love opportunities to tap into that creativity, and so um, being able to add your own color and use different either colored pencils, markers, crayons, and really add your own to these places, it added more opportunity for engagement beyond just.
Not sure if I'm frozen. Sorry, 1 second here, guys.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we lost you for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. But yes, I felt like the coloring books were opportunities to actually foster more engagement and a deeper experience than just reading a book. Though I do hope to write a children's book soon.
Oh, nice. And I enjoy coloring. I don't know how long adult coloring books have been out, but I remember a few years ago I kind of got into them coloring, and like you said, they're pretty detailed, but
Mhm.
using do people use crayons or stencils typically?
Um, it really is just a matter of preference. So some
Okay.
people use crayons, some use colored pencils, some use markers, and I know some folks who mix them all together to kind of add more dimension to the coloring pages as well, which is great. And it's just an opportunity. I was reading an article not too long ago about the benefits of coloring as an adult, and because we spend so much time now on our phones and kind of using our thumbs, that dexterity that we used to have when we were younger kind of fades, and it helps you tap into another side of your brain when you're able to kind of actually go through the physical act of coloring. It has a lot of benefits.
And I find it to be like a huge stress relief as well. You know, your mind just kind of goes. I kind of put it in the same under the same umbrella as less like playing a musical instrument. Like for me, playing the piano, like it's very stress relieving, and like you said, it gets you off of your phone and kind of back to the basics.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great for disconnecting, de-stressing, and I think if you're someone like me who has perfectionist tendencies, letting go of some of that it's a great way to let go of some of that, because there really is no wrong way to do it. There's everyone's coloring page can color the same page, but it will come out differently, and being able to add your own unique spin and knowing that there's no way to mess this up and you can't do anything wrong is really freeing in a lot of ways.
Yes, for sure. And do you have like goals as far as like where you want your coloring books to go? I know they're for sale online on your website and on Amazon, but is this something that you would like to see in schools in Chicago or in other parts of the world?
Yes, absolutely. So I am an approved vendor for Chicago Public Schools,
Amazing.
also for city colleges of Chicago. I love being able to share the books in the educational setting, but also with different cultural institutions. The books are sold in about 25 museums across the country that are either focused on art or on Black culture and history, as well as some independent bookstores as well, about 10 independent bookstores nationally in the US. I would love to expand internationally as well and hope to establish some partners abroad. I was so happy to donate books to NEAT as well, just because your family is doing such amazing work in the community and in Negril for children and families, and being able to support that has been amazing. And it's a natural connection with the diaspora as well. I'm not Jamaican, but I love Jamaica. And I like to say that I have a Jamaican spirit, and I've always felt so warm and at home in Jamaica and in Negril. And so That really did warm my spirit to have that opportunity to be able to donate books to organizations like NEAT.
Awesome, awesome. And we definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you had mentioned that you got some of the inspiration for the book from your favorite spots in Negril. Would you mind sharing some of those?
Oh yes. So the Negril page is a beach scene of 7 Mile Beach. It has, you can see Booby Key Island in the background, which I've had many beautiful snorkeling adventures near Booby Key. It also has some little dogs, because what is an experience hanging out on the beach without making friends with the little dogs? I also have on there a some food vendors, and it's just a relaxing beach scene that you can kind of take in and kind of get a feel for that experience.
I like that. I think you've captured Negril in many ways in that sense.
Yes, yes, it's I love it. So I was excited to kind of put that on a page as best I could.
Awesome. And if anybody has any questions for Leah, you can put them in the comments, and I will make sure that and ask her.
Please share.
Um, yes. And so I do want to get into your relationship with Jamaica a little bit.
Mhm.
And when did you first start coming here?
Oh, my first visit to Jamaica was, I might have been in middle school at that time. So I was pretty young. My father
Mhm.
brought me. That was not our first trip to Negril. We went to Negril later. I might have been a teenager at that time. And that was when we decided, after our first experience, that we really wanted to get away from the big resort um, vacation experience, and wanted to have an opportunity to be somewhere where we could get more of our own adventure and experience more authentic version of Jamaica. And so I believe that our very first trip to Negril um, might have been at Travelers.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
So we have returned to Travelers many, many times. Now that I'm an adult, I travel any chance I get to Negril and back to Travelers. And it's been great to see. Well, first, I will say, supporting a Black owned business was very critical and important and priority for me, a family owned business. And being able to see the growth and evolution of Travelers over the years has also been amazing. And so continuing to come back, support you, support your family, the business, as well as the greater community through the work that you're doing with NEAT, with the Rotary, and just in the community more broadly. It's an amazing experience. And so I think since the pandemic, I've started to pick back up. But before the pandemic, I was going to Negril, I think twice a year, just because it was so easy to
Mhm.
get to as well. It's I could get a direct flight from Chicago to MBJ, and be in paradise so quickly, and be able to have an experience where I've vacationed in other places, but being in a place where you're in a country that is Black, and as a Black person, the sense of safety that you also feel, knowing that you can be comfortable, you can be yourself, and you can be safe, is just been an amazing experience over the years.
And I guess that was kind of pulls me into my next question is like, what is it about Jamaica and perhaps specifically Negril that like draws you in to come back over and over again?
Yeah, I think um, there's a few things. The culture, the richness of the culture, being able to have an authentic experience, not and not having to be at a resort. I can stay at Travelers and I can eat great food at Travelers and hang out on the beach at Travelers, but I can also go out and explore Negril and eat at local restaurants and interact with local people, and do things that are helping to support the local economy. That is something that continues to draw me to Negril. It's one of the most beautiful beaches, I think, in the world. And for it to be so close and so affordable, I think are things that continue to bring me back time and time again.
Awesome, awesome. I love to hear it. And that's one thing that like we like travelers like we encourage our guests is to go out there and explore. And I will say, yes, we'd love for you to have every single meal here and every drink that you consume in Jamaica here at Travelers, but it's not to me that that wouldn't really give you like a full authentic Negril Jamaican experience. And I think it's a lot of experiences that you may have and interactions that you may have serendipitously outside of Travelers that is going to really, really draw you back in, and relationships that you develop with somebody just walking on the beach or on the road or at a grocery store or at the fruit market, whatever it is. And it's like, to me, like those are like the types of experience that really bring people back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And would you there are a lot of people, like somebody just just before you came on, they said it was their first time ever coming to Negril. What kind of things would you recommend people do, or perhaps that you like doing every time that you come here, that if somebody's coming here for the first time, like they got to do this or go to that restaurant or see this person?
Yes. I would definitely say go snorkeling. Take a little morning boat trip and go snorkeling, experience nature. That is an opportunity to really have a, a snorkeling experience that I think is has to be top tier in the world. Um, and even if you can't swim, that's something that I know some people talk about. There are safety measures that can be put in place. There's a life vest, and it's a beautiful and an unforgettable experience that I highly recommend. I also love the Blue Hole. Taking a trip up to the Blue Hole, I highly recommend that. Experiencing the mineral spring. If you're brave enough to dive in, then be careful, because I have a quite the story about that. But you can also climb in. But I think going up into the mountain and experiencing the spring is definitely a major bucket list item. Um, if you're on the 7 Mile, definitely go up to the West End, experience some of the restaurants, the great restaurants on the West End. Three Dives is one of my favorites. Great jerk chicken, great grilled shrimp, things like that. Um, and if you are staying on the West End, make sure you make trips down to the beach, and try to move around the grill a bit, and get a diverse experience while you're there.
I think great recommendations. Just so everybody knows, Blue Hole is like maybe half an hour from Negril, and yeah, it's a great place, and I think it's like super special that it's like such so close to Negril. And
Yes.
yeah, I think I concur, co-sign everything that you just said.
Yes, I love, and I'm a little bit biased because since I'm a city girl, I just love all of the natural elements of being in the grill. I feel so close to nature, and close to God, being in the ocean and at the spring, and I just love it. So any opportunity to really experience nature, wake up early. That's another thing I recommend. Wake up early in the morning, go out, experience the beach early before it gets too hot, get some exercise, get some fresh air. And it's quiet in the morning, it's peaceful, you can meditate, pray, whatever, have your inner reflection time. I highly recommend that. If you're in the grill, at least a couple of mornings, get yourself up and get out early in the morning.
Great advice. You're giving me goosebumps saying that. I think that is like one of the most special aspects of experiencing Negril, that is underrated and understated. It's just like coming out here. I'm like, I'll switch the camera to the beach, but coming out here on the beach, like it's just like a lake in the morning. Just like
Mm,
the waves are just like lapping like ever so gently,
yes.
and the quietness, and it is a really special moment of the day. And I never really thought of it like that. So thank you, Leah, for bringing that up.
Yes, that is probably my favorite time. Getting up at sunrise, watching the sunrise over the mountain, going out, um, and walking or jogging up and down the beach, and getting in the water while it's still so still and nice and
Mm.
cool. It's just such a beautiful experience. So highly, highly recommend. And of course, the sunsets. Can't forget about the amazing sunsets.
Yeah, great, 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 great recommendations. Great insight. Um, with that, is Jamaica, is Negril somewhere that you would consider living or moving to or spending an extended period of time?
I would definitely say yes. My dream would be to have a small property somewhere in the grill with walking distance to the beach, with a little garden where I can grow some nice little plants and maybe some uh, local herbs, and just really enjoy. And all I need is a Wi-Fi connection and I'm good to go. So I would love to have a home in Jamaica. I'm in Chicago, and we have some very difficult winters, and so being able to have a summer escape is definitely on my list of goals.
Okay. How can we make that happen?
We need to figure it out. I'm gonna manifest. I'm gonna put pen to paper, and I'm gonna definitely be calling you so that I can get any tips or advice that you have. But
No,
definitely,
oh, definitely. This is my wheelhouse, and everybody knows here. Like I am, and that I work with here in the grill specifically is like we're always brainstorming. Like, how do we get more young people to move to the grill? And once there's like somebody, like a young person with an inkling, especially somebody who can like work from home. Like once they have like an inkling of like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, like we just like grab them and we're like, okay, how can we help you move this? How can we help you find a place? Because like I think that like that is something that is so needed here, just to kind of build the younger generation, but then also to like inspire others to do it. And I think like we're starting to get like a little momentum with that, even with like the people that I work with and my team that I have here. And I think there's just so much potential in the grill, but it just also needs young minds and young energy, at least at the juncture that we're in right now. And I think that like I think one, you'll inspire other people to come here, but I also think that people who are already here, I always say like when like the diaspora or even potential retirees are thinking about like, hey, what kind of impact can I have here in the grill or here in Jamaica? And honestly, like your presence alone will have an impact on people. Like just how you think, how you process things, how you interact with people, whatever it is that your profession is, it really does impact the community probably in a much larger way than you can probably imagine. So I'm here.
yes, I love that. And it's something that doesn't scare me at all. And so for anyone who might also be considering, I just will remind folks that Jamaica is so much closer to the US than you realize. Like the flight is so quick, comparatively, if you were going somewhere else, and looking for, vacation destination somewhere else. But just the amazingly beautiful beach, the nature, and the Jamaican people have been so welcoming, so welcoming. And I can't say that for everywhere. There's not everywhere you go will you feel as welcome. And I think it's something too that has inspired me, and reminded me always every time I go back of the greater diasporic community that I am a part of. And it was very much that experience is very much tied into my work and the inspiration behind my coloring book series. So thank you for
Absolutely.
continuing to welcome me back, and for fostering this community as well, where we can convene, folks from across the diaspora, thanks to technology, and continue to build those connections.
Definitely, definitely. It's definitely a passion of mine. Still trying to what would I say? Control the many passions that I have, but also control my focus as to where I with this energy because there's like so many things I want to do with it.
No, that's good. That's good. Having a lot of ideas and a lot of energy is good because then it's all about channeling it,
There
you
you
know?
go. There you go. Exactly.
So that's amazing.
All right. I have a few comments, few questions here that I just want to run through.
Sure.
Uh, Joe says occupational therapists use coloring books a lot in sessions, both in pediatrics and geriatrics. Joe's an occupational therapist.
I love that. I love that. I wonder if they're, if they take into consideration the content of the coloring books as well, and what that might do, in addition to the occupational therapy.
Good point. Marion J has a question. Of all your coloring books, which one is your favorite?
Hey, MJ. Marion actually has traveled to Travelers with me to Negril.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, girl. I would say of all of my coloring books, the African Proverbs, I would say, might be my favorite right now. It's a collection of some of my favorite, most uplifting, affirmation like proverbs from across the African continent. And those are also really great for reflection and introspection, as a part of the coloring experience. So that would be my favorite at the moment, but it can change on a day-to-day basis what my favorite is.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tisha says, this always makes my heart feel so happy when I hear a person who's not Jamaican or Jamaican heritage speak so highly of our country. I boast about Jamaica every chance I get, girl.
I know that's right, Tisha. You should. You should. Because, like I said, I'm not Jamaican, but I have a Jamaican spirit. That's what I say.
Donna says, I agree. I am up at 5:30 a.m. at Travelers in Negril and walk the 7 mile. Do serene and soothe your soul.
Yes.
So serene, soothe your soul.
Yes. Can't think of a better way to start the day.
Agreed. That's why I love waking up early here and going for runs here. It's just like seeing the town, the beach, whatever, like just slowly wake up and
Yes.
come alive, like getting out before the sun. Oh, that's the best. Can't ask for more.
It's beautiful. And it really does set the tone for your entire day. It's hard to have a bad day after that. It really is.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Chad Wayne says, Strop, the Jamaican tourist industry is the best in the Caribbean. Great attractions, friendly people, and overall excellent workers. A destination that is greatly safe. My question is, how can industry players collaborate with government to provide housing solutions for workers in the industry? Nothing free, but affordable. I mean, the 35 million houses of reach the workers.
Out of reach of workers.
Yeah. I think that one is for me. I would say, so I think it's a combination of, like we were talking earlier, before you got on, Leah, about these different hotels that are coming on board, and literally like thousands, I don't know if you're aware, but there are thousands and thousands of rooms coming to this side of the island. I'm talking about like Green Island coming back to Negril. And, I don't know as a percentage what that increase is going to be in terms of the room inventory that we currently have. But one of the things that at least two of the hotels I know are doing is that they're building housing for their workers, because we just don't have it in this area. And I would say even for, I would even say for your demographic, Leah, like if you were to move here and you want to move to Negril, there are not many places that I can recommend. I mean, maybe, and when I say recommend, like turnkey solutions, like there are many places you can buy land and build your house, but I don't think a lot of people want to go through that, nor do they have the time or the mental capacity to deal with that. But turnkey solutions, there's almost close to nothing that is available in Negril. And so that is exacerbated even more for like workers, because the majority of the working population in Negril don't live in Negril. They live outside of Negril. And so to your answer Chad Wayne's question directly, I think it's going to be a combination of these larger hotels that are making these very large investments in hotel rooms, to also have them build housing for their workers, or even workers, even I would even say outside. Just you almost need to develop communities in a very, very quick way if we're going to be having this much of a population growth in such a short period of time. And then I would say, in combination, I was having a conversation with a developer designer yesterday, talking about public-private partnerships with developers and the government to do like these housing community developments. But it's I can get into the weeds of it, but essentially it's very expensive for these developers to do this, and the incentives, I believe, have to change. And I think there needs to be a much higher incentive, or an incentive that would get these developers to say, like, this is no brainer. I'm going to build 500 homes in the next 3 years because I get this tax break, or I get this discount on this tariff, or whatever it is. So that's kind of my quick answer to that. Sorry. So we'll keep going here. Livia Rodriguez says, Leah, I'll pitch in and share the property with you.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We can split it.
There you go. Castleberry 1, breakfast on the beach.
Breakfast on the beach, yes. And after your walk, your swim, sitting on the traveler's patio and having a nice breakfast, your Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee and your eggs, toast, however you like your breakfast, some callaloo, it doesn't get better.
I think that's one of my favorite things to do, is just sit on this deck and have a coffee in the morning.
Ugh.
Get the day started.
I'm having serious FOMO to book flight right now.
Novia says, let's talk.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk for sure.
So I will say, for my investment conference, we every year we do this real estate tour all around Negril, about different properties that are for sale, both commercial and residential properties. And a group of the attendees got together and we visited Coral Seas on the Cliff Hotel, and we did the tour. It was pouring torrential downpour. And a group of them got together and they said it was going for $3 million US. They're like, hey, if 30 of us put in $100,000, we can buy this. And they did it. They closed on it last month.
Wow.
And they're taking the hotel, the 30 rooms. It's 30 rooms. I believe it's 30 rooms. But they're converting it into condos. And so everybody who bought one is refurbishing their own little condo. And it's a beautiful view. I mean, it's right on the cliff. Do you know Coral Seas?
I do.
So it's like so amazing. We're actually shooting a video on it this week and telling the story of just like these. For the most part, they were all strangers. The two things they had in common, they loved Jamaica, and they were all throppers. They were all part of this community, and they came together, pooled their money, and they purchased this property.
Wow.
So not far-fetched at all, I would say. Definitely, Olivia, like explore these options with Olivia. You never know. Yes. And you're actually looking to repeat it. And anybody who's done anything real estate wise in Jamaica, you'll know it's not the easiest and quickest thing. So we did the tour in November and they closed on it in April, which is crazy. Really, really, really crazy.
6 months or so.
Yeah. So really, just proud of them, proud that it happened, through our organization, and proud that it happened for Negril, and like people are just talking about it. I was like, this is so awesome. This is so awesome.
Yes, and shout out to you, because that's a testament also to the power of the community that you're building here and that you're continuing to foster and pour into. So that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Richard Wilson says group economics. That's right.
Group economics, yeah.
Wait, so I got a question up here. Sorry, I missed a couple. Olivia says, Leah, can you share some advice for how best to go from an idea to monetization, and what have been the most challenging obstacles for you in this process?
Oh, great question, Milvia. Oh, we could do a whole separate live session about this, but going from idea to monetization. So my tips are, sometimes it depends on what your idea is, right? And how big of a lift your idea actually is. I would say if you have a book, for example, that you want to do, that is one that is probably easier to do than you might think. Especially if you are open to going through the self-publishing route as opposed to working with a large publisher. And that's another thing too. If you choose to work with a mainstream publisher and be represented by a book agent, then you also have a little bit less control over the timeline of that process, and also what might be included in your book. They will have a little bit more say of what that looks like for you. Um, in terms of the self-publishing process, I'm happy to talk about. So I use Amazon KDP to publish my book. Um, and you can do that rather quickly if you are open to using it. There are pros and cons of Amazon, and I know a lot of folks do not like supporting Amazon, but there are a lot of perks as well if you're looking to get something off the ground quickly for publishing a book, either hardcover or softcover. The most challenging obstacle in this process for me, I would say creating the first book was the most challenging because there were so many. I had never created a book. I had never, well, that's not correct. I had created a set of journals before, but I had never created a coloring book. And so actually finding people who could help support me in my idea and my dream, right? Because I am not an illustrator. So I could curate the images and I could think through what I could see it in my mind as a completed project, but having people who could help me actually bring that to life and work with me on that vision was critical. So that was really key. Um, Once you learn the process, um, of publishing once, it's a lot easier from there because you know where all of the pitfalls might be, what the loopholes might be, what to avoid, so you can actually, it becomes a lot easier. So if you're able to work with someone who can either, offer some advice about the KDP process or a coach, then that's helpful. And also, working with good people who can help you bring your vision to life. Those would be my recommendations.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And what is Amazon KDP?
Yes, Amazon KDP is Amazon Kindle. It stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. It is a publishing service through Amazon where you can self publish your own books. And so through Amazon KDP, you are able to actually, um, publish your own manuscript with the cover, and you're able to it's not the distribution you may hope for, like if you worked with an agent and a mainstream publisher, but it does present a route that you can go down to actually go about having a book published, for both a printed book as well as a digital book via the Amazon Kindle platform.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Livia says, I remember those early days, Leah. Very proud of you and your 4 editions of the coloring books. Beautiful stuff. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Melvia. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you and your support.
Awesome. Awesome. And just a reminder, all of the links to Leah's books, coloring books, her website, and her Instagram are in the description below.
Yes.
So please go check them out.
Yes,
And
just in time for Juneteenth. So that's
exactly.
unithyhues.com, unithyhues.com. And before we go, if you're okay with it, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I'm really excited about Juneteenth, and I grew up, which is this is surprising to some people, but I grew up celebrating Juneteenth in Chicago on the South Side, so it was something I was very familiar with prior to it becoming a U.S. federal holiday in 2021. But I'm curious if there's any familiarity in Jamaica with Juneteenth. and what that holiday means, and if there's anything that goes on around that, and what your thoughts are.
I honestly do not think so. And if there is, it's probably like a very small group of people, but I personally have not heard anything. Um, I think it could be something to be considered. I'm just trying to like my brain's thinking like, how could this be done or who to talk to kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no worries. I was just curious of just general awareness as we think about like our shared history, I guess, as a people,
Yeah.
as a person of African American descent who is the descendant of formerly enslaved people, and also the formerly enslaved people of Jamaica. If they're, it's a little bit different from our national independence days, right? Where we're celebrating something a little bit different. But actually, I guess I should say what Juneteenth is for anyone who may not be familiar. Juneteenth is a holiday that celebrates the day in on June 19th, 1865, when enslaved people in the United States and the state of Texas found out that they were free, that they were no longer slaves. This came, I believe, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation actually took effect. So they actually became free on January 1, 1863. But because the their enslavers did not have interest in letting them go, um, they did not make them aware of their freedom. And so this is the day when we celebrate the true day when all Black people in America became free and were liberated from bondage in the United States. And it's been celebrated for generations in the US, pockets of African Americans, but I
Mm.
think following 2020, there was more awareness and more movement put around Juneteenth, and it became a national holiday in the United States.
No, I'm agreeing with like a lot of people in the comments here. Stronna said I didn't know about Juneteenth until it was a federal holiday. Same here. Had no clue, honestly. And that's like I don't know if the American education system failed me or something, but like it is honestly not on like not as and Joe saying I never knew anything about Juneteenth until I was an adult. Um, and then Rochelle brings up a good point. We have emancipation in Jamaica, that is. So
Good.
because I think that's our Emancipation Day. Jamaican slaves were free on August 1st. That's right. And
Love
we
that.
do. And so that's been a big celebration in Jamaica since forever, at least since I can remember. And there's big celebrations here, um, all over the island. As a matter of fact,
I love that. And it's so much worth celebrating. I think that it's so important that we remember our history. There are people, you said maybe the American education system failed you. It's failed a lot of us. And I think that that is not by accident, that is by design. And so we have to take that control into our own hands to educate ourselves and educate one another and remember our past, remember our ancestors, all that they've done so that we can be, and so that we can be and thrive today. So definitely excited to celebrate. I celebrate Juneteenth pretty much all month long, and love the way that many organizations use my books as part of their celebration as well. So it's great for, just honoring our history and our culture. So grateful for that.
and would you mind sharing with us like what you're doing to celebrate this year?
Yes, so I am. There are so many events happening like all week long. There will be an event. I will be vending at a record shop, Miyagi Records in Chicago on Garfield Boulevard in the evening of Juneteenth from 7 to 10 p.m. If you're in Chicago, please come by and see me. I will also be I'm planning to attend the Chicago Urban League's Juneteenth Festival the weekend after Juneteenth. I believe that's on the 22nd. So there's just events all June long that I'm really looking forward to, and just really being in community and sharing space with people. That's what it's about.
And I agree. Like, as I'm just thinking about, like, it's so important that we recognize and celebrate these days and know our history. Even Justin here saying, she's speaking the truth. It was not by accident. It was by design, and we can't forget these things. And this, like, it's so important to instill in our kids as well to know where we're coming from, and like you said, what our ancestors had to go through in order for us to be living the lives that we're living now.
That's right. They sacrifice so much, and um, we are the living, breathing manifestations of so many folks' dreams. And just by being here, our existence. And so we must honor that and do that justice by remembering and celebrating all that we've gone through and how far we've come as a people.
Sorry, I think. Oh, there you go. It broke up a little bit. Oh, yeah, thank you for that, Leah. You're so correct, so correct. As we're wrapping up, is there anything that you would like to close us out with?
I will just close by saying thank you to you for having me. Thank you to everyone who showed up, all of your questions and comments. I really appreciate it. Um, Happy Juneteenth. I look forward to continuing to celebrate. Check us out at unityhughes.com. Follow us on Instagram. Excited to share more content throughout the month of June and beyond. And just looking forward to having this chat again in real life on the beach. Excited to share. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, just cut out just a little bit, but yeah, keep going.
Oh, I'm just was saying I'm excited to do this again in real life on the beach.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
yes. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And I just put, just for everybody's ease, I just put all the links in the comment section there, so you can just click them and go to whichever one works for you. And they're also in the description. So thank you, Leah, for taking the time. It was wonderful.
Much love to you and your family. Tell everyone I said hello.
Thank you. I will. And please tell your dad I said hello as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that was really good. So yeah, please support Leah and what she's doing. You know, buy a book. Do I think it's a great Christmas gift. I think it's a great children's gift as well. And even for us as adults, like I said, I think it's such a just a good stress reliever, like these coloring books. And you know, she's obviously an amazing person doing amazing things, and I got a real education on Juneteenth and the real meaning behind it. And like many of you are saying in the comments, like I knew about it, like I only knew about it and like when it was made into a federal holiday, but didn't really even understand it or know anything about it beforehand, which is just crazy. Like that date wasn't stuck in our heads, like growing up, like all of us as kids. And yeah, I doubt any of my friends, black, white, Chinese, whatever color they are, that they even knew growing up what Juneteenth was. Interesting. Shorna says, I think where you were raised in the States plays a role as well, growing up in North New York versus South. For sure. Yeah, I think so too. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Shorna says, I'll definitely support her. I utilize adult coloring books. Awesome. That's great. Miss Cole says, I recently challenged myself on a recent vacation to digitally detox for a few days. I think that's great. I think we all need that. Please listen to Chris Charles, everybody. Tap the like, fam. Would appreciate that very much. Let's get back to that beach view. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and I'll come right back and we'll get into the rest of the agenda. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the tour today, and we're going to be taking a look at the newly renovated bungalows, or otherwise now known as the cottages, which we've gone through about half of them so far. And we're looking at cottages number 4 and 8 at this time, and this is just a view of the balcony. We changed the entrance from being in the middle, and so if you are familiar with the property, there used to be an entrance for 2 rooms in one of these bungalow housing structures, and now each bungalow, each room has their own entrance to the side and a little bit more privacy as well, because we split the balconies. So you don't necessarily have to talk to the neighbor if you don't want to, but you can of course go around if you would like. And moving into the room itself, these are brand new beds and frames and new design with the throw pillows and the standard pillows in the back there. And then you can also see the kitchenette unit that we renovated, and we'll get to in a second. Also, we added a working desk with a charging station, so you have USB and also Type-C there as well, right below the television. And that's for anybody who wants to get some work done, especially those work from home people. And this is a wider view of the room, and I just want to make note of the AC, because these used to be fan-cooled rooms, and now we got rid of the louver windows, and so now it's completely sealed up, if you will, with, as far as the windows go, brand new windows. And also want to bring attention to the ceilings. So the ceilings used to be flat, and now we brought them up to an apex to give a little bit more room and make it feel a little bit more spacious, but still maintain the coziness. And also bringing some more attention to the far right corner of the kitchenette that we have, and we'll get to that in a second, and also the newly renovated bathroom. So we basically gutted this entire place. Even the floor tiles are brand new as well. And this is another angle of the bed, and just want to bring some attention to the LED bed frame, as well as the embedded nightstands and lamps, and another view of the kitchenette, I should say. And as you can see, it has basically all the utensils and tools that you might need to cook a meal. Included is a mini fridge there down on the left, and a hot plate, coffee maker, ice bucket, all the knives and utensils that you may need to feed a small family. Not necessarily Thanksgiving dinner, but you can definitely chef it up in there, especially if you're staying for an extended period of time. This might be a perfect type of accommodation for you. And that essentially is the kitchen. And now moving on to the bathroom. And as I mentioned before, like floor to ceiling, new floor tiles, new ceiling tiles. Got the LED frame around the mirror just to give a little bit more lights. We changed out the square louver windows for the ship window, I guess you can call it. And we got the rainfall shower head and the glass frame shower door. Even the towel holders, those are all new. And again, trying to bring together everything in the room, the kitchenette, and to complete the cottage experience, if you will. So very happy and proud of how this was done, and really wanted to give a modern look and feel to this new room category, the cottage. And so also with this wider angle, want to bring attention to the closet. So you got some drawer space there, and you got some hanging space as well, and your safe, of course, and the ironing board is on the other side in between the closet and the window there. And yeah, another angle of the room, and also want to bring attention to that long standing mirror there, so full frame mirror. And that essentially is the bungalow, and this is kind of our way of paying homage to my dad and where he started from with this hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. Started right with one bungalow and grew to the 60-room resort that Travelers Beach.
My name is Daniel Grizzle. I'm the managing director of Charella Inn, which is a family-owned and managed small 59-bedroom hotel situated right in the center of the famous Negril beach. And I would like very much to invite you all to come and experience what life is like here in Charella Inn, to be part of our extended family. Several of the rooms are just open, overlooking the beautiful Caribbean Sea, and you have tall, waving coconut trees to welcome you and keep you cool on the beach. And you have a warm and interesting staff here ready to keep you comfortable, to make you feel at home, and to enjoy that you stay happy and peaceful.
Those are my little adventures that I take every time I go out and swim. Always see something cool. Almost ran into that little one at the end, huh? We made it back safe and sound. Till the next adventure.
My name is Joanne Oates. I am the founder of the Smile a While Foundation. I have been an occupational therapist for the past 8 years, living and working in New York City. In 2021, I founded the Smile a While Foundation because I knew there was a great need in the Caribbean for therapists to work with special needs children. Being from a Jamaican background myself, I knew firsthand what the experiences are in Jamaica. I know there are a handful of occupational therapists in Jamaica, all located in Kingston, and the rest of rural Jamaica, children are going unserved. And it's not just occupational therapy, it's speech therapy, physical therapy, behavior therapy, all the adjunct therapies that children with special needs require that are readily available in places like the United States, the UK, Canada. But when we think back to island nations, these services are few and far between. So the Smile a While Foundation seeks to fill that gap by providing programming that brings therapists from abroad to work with children here, therapy students from abroad to complete their fieldwork placements here, as well as trying to build capacity with the professionals we already have on the ground in these islands by providing professional development workshops and introducing the latest techniques and interventions to the already practicing professionals here working with these certain populations. We could help to bring knowledge and just increase capacity of how we serve our children with special needs.
Our intent is to change the landscape of Jamaica, to put us on the map globally as we deserve to be. Our product is far more supreme than I see in other places where they have far less.
So there's 4 towers of the wildlife and birds around the development: the swallowtail, the canary, the hummingbird, and the phoenix. Each tower has its own level of amenities in terms of gym, lounge areas, pools, cabanas, concierge, tennis courts, basketball courts, golf simulators, cigar bars, cafes, restaurants.
In order to stabilize the construction, we drive concrete tiles down into the ground to the tune of, this is 28 stories, 180 feet down below, in order to stabilize the building.
Now, everywhere is developed. So why we don't have, as a developed country, we should have something like Singapore, Dubai. I will do the first.
All right, we are back from break. Hope you guys enjoyed those videos. Enjoy putting them together. All right, so let's get into the super bright out. Sorry, it's so blown out, but that sun is, I think it's reflecting off the sand, it's reflecting off the clouds, and it's making it so blown out. But I don't have an ND filter with me right now, so that's the best we got. Anyway, let's get into one of the agenda items that I was referring to earlier, and that was the Throppers think tank that we did yesterday. And as I mentioned, we do these monthly Zoom calls for anybody who's part of that Patreon tier, and we really get into the weeds of whatever it is that we want to get into. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing and putting out is a survey about like moving to Jamaica. And this really came off of the conversation that I was having with the CEO of VM Wealth Management on Thursday. And I want to hear, or just having we're going to put the survey out anyway, but I just want to have kind of an open discussion with you all here about this. And one of the questions we want to put out on the poll survey is what are, and I'm assuming that there many of you are looking to invest in Jamaica, and that could it looks different in many ways. So, and when I say investing, it could be investing in the stock market and any sort of equities, bond market, whatever have you, right? That investing can look like real estate, which I think a lot of people are very much interested in as well, both from the business side, i.e., Airbnb, long-term rental, or investing to move here, lifestyle purposes, looking to spend either completely be here or spend extended periods of time skipping winters wherever you are, but living and working from Jamaica for an extended period of time. And so my question is like, what would you say are some of your biggest hesitations for making that happen? And then that could be, personally, but I would say I really want to focus on the Jamaican market itself. So and just to kind of open up the question in the comment section here, is some of the feedback that I've been getting has been like from an education standpoint is not understanding the process. And understanding the process is multifaceted, right? Because there are so many different, let's stick with real estate for right now. I guess they would go hand in hand. There's so many different facets of the process, right? And so one of them is, hey, how am I eligible as a US citizen or a individual who is of Jamaican descent but grew up in New York, doesn't have a Jamaican passport, doesn't have Jamaican citizenship? And if I am, what are the steps to do that? And so, or it may be a situation where like there may be somebody who just completely eliminates themselves from that potential for that opportunity because, oh, I'm not Jamaican citizen, I can't invest or I can't do this. So there's like the education part. I think there also may on the education part as well is like understanding the different finance models that are available to you in terms of sticking with real estate, with mortgages, and your eligibility to get lending directly here in Jamaica. Maybe even get lending in the US, which I think could be very tricky by doing it and getting your financing in the US and doing an investment in Jamaica. So those are different things that I hear over and over again. And I think a lot of people completely eliminate themselves to even go down that thought pattern, or maybe even picking up the phone and calling a bank or a mortgage lender or sending an email, what have you. And I think even going off the conversation that I had with Rez from VM, he was also saying like the eligibility to invest in the Jamaican stock market. I think a lot of people turn themselves off and tune themselves out because they automatically tell themselves that they're ineligible or that they need this bag of money. Whereas he explained the minimum requirement is 10,000 Jamaican dollars, which is less than 100 US. And so what I'm looking for is that what are like those main points, and also that people are kind of disqualifying themselves or maybe even creating fears around investing in Jamaica, moving here, retiring here. And that's kind of what I would like to open up the conversation with. And there's a bunch more hesitations that I've been hearing about as well. So I'd like to hear from you all. Nicole says, also investing to support, reposition, and recenter the local community's land use needs based on the increasing growth and investment of Jamaica through the planning process and development outcomes. Hold on, I think I missed something. Okay, let's finish your thought here. Investing as an environmental planner to support and recenter the land use needs of local communities based on the increase in growth and density through planning process and development outcomes. Great. Okay, now I understand what you're saying here. Yes, and so along those lines, I was very much having like at breakfast. I showed the Charella Inn commercial. We're at breakfast on Sunday. This is like I always say that's like a place that a lot of people go to for Sunday breakfasts, and a lot of people, leadership in Negril go there, and it's not like an elitist thing at all. I think it's a great networking place, great, beautiful beach, beautiful family-owned, Jamaican-owned resort, and a lot of people like to go there for Sunday's breakfast. So I was there with my family this morning, and I was having a conversation with a few folks about this very same subject. And we were talking about the conversation opened up with speaking about Little Haiti here in Negril. And just stick with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So Little Haiti is it's essentially it's a squatting community. You know, let's call it what it is. And this community developed in the time that I have been here. So I've been here 18 years. It started, I can't remember exactly when it started. And somebody at breakfast was saying that like they might be watching it right now, that I always talk about encouraging you all, my community, to invest in Jamaica and to invest in Negril, and talking about all the wonderful things, but I don't talk about the squatting communities like Little Haiti. But I do. I talk about it all the time. I talk about Negril Road all the time and the squatting communities there. Talk about it all the time, and we're going to talk about it again right now. So let me share my screen here. All right, so I'm gonna take down your comment there, Nicole. So this is Negril. This is the 7 Mile White Sand Beach. And then we got downtown Negril here. This is the roundabout. If we go here to the left of your screen, that goes to West End. And then here we go to SAF, right? And this is Negril Road here. And then you got, this is Little Haiti here. Like all here. Here. And there's like all, like, I don't think you can see it, but there's a lot of little houses here and informal communities. And this has become a problem. And even the police were saying that they need help getting into the community because it's become so dangerous. And it's like one of those things. And I always say, like, I'm not here. I'm the last person to either blame and or depend on government. Like, to me, those are like the last resorts. As a community and as an individual, I think it like disempowers us as a community by again, like, first thing pointing at the government. But this is one of the areas that I definitely blame the government, because they've allowed these informal settlements and these informal communities to balloon and blossom into a situation where it's such a problem where you can no longer just kick these people out. Like, that's ridiculous. That's inhumane. And same thing along Negril Road. There's a lot of informal communities along here. And this is where, along this area, has been designated like where government buildings are supposed to go. And it's not talked about. It's not even on the priority of the government and of development right now. And I'm not necessarily saying it should be, but eventually it is going to have to be talked about and is going to have to be brought to the forefront. And you're going to have to move these people into much better situations, and it's not a situation of like no water, no sewage, no electricity, at least legally, right? And you're going to have to move these people. It's going to cost the government 100 times more now than it would have when these things first started coming up. And so, to your point, Nicole, the conversation that we were having this morning was more so about all these great things happening in Negril, all these great investments coming to Negril. It cannot be a situation. It cannot be a situation where only a select few small group of people benefit from all these positive things that are happening to Negril. And this is my philosophy on Jamaica as a whole. And as we move up and move forward as a country, the quality of life for the average Jamaican has to be and should be improved in tandem with all these things that are happening. I'm not saying everybody's going to be a millionaire. It's just not going to happen. Not the way the world works. There's no country in the world where that is true. However, the quality of life of the average person living in Jamaica should be going up in tandem. Opportunities that are created for them, and I think, and I keep saying that Jamaica is at such an incredible inflection point, and we are living through history, whether we believe it or not. We are living through real history in real time, and we are in such a great position to make decisions that will affect, for better or for worse, will affect generations to come. And I believe in like having this mindset that, look, we can, this rising tide can lift all boats, and not focusing on just one demographic of person, but also even these settlements that we have here. Because what's the point in having a society where folks who are living on Nampro Road or in Little Haiti, that they're seeing all this richness and people living these great lives around them, and they got to go back home to their shack? I mean, should they be taking some personal responsibility for that? Absolutely, absolutely. But from a societal community standpoint, we can't have, say, hundreds of people who are living like this and who are turning to criminality. It's just like, we want to live in a safe society. We want to live in a safe community. We're able to do that because we take care of the most, what would I say, the people who are most in need, and then also protect these areas that could turn into another Little Haiti or could turn into another squatting community. So, as I say, prevention is better than cure, but unfortunately we're here now, and we're soon going to have to be having these very, very tough conversations. And again, I mean, like I see Negril, and you could say whatever about this. I see Negril as this place that's gonna, by 2030, let's call it, like, yeah, and you're kind of already seeing it, but I think even more so, like, people are gonna be driving around in the best cars, living in the nicest homes, whether that's going to be on the West End, here on the beach, apartments that are going to be going up. I mean, there's just so many different like things that are happening, from like government policy to building ordinances to constitutional reform. It goes on and on and on. Like, so like the foundation and the fundamentals of Jamaica are changing in these great massive ways, right? And so I believe in many of these ways and changes that are coming, but in 5 years from now, or maybe 6 years, 2030, right? We can't have all of these people who are living these great lives, and maybe a lot of them are transplants, and they could be transplants from Kingston, they could be transplants from New York or wherever it is, driving around these very, very nice vehicles, living in the best homes, and we still have communities like Little Haiti, or we still have communities like these informal settlements along Nampro Road. No, they deserve, at this point, they've been there for so long, and we're going to uproot them, and eventually they're going to have to be uprooted. They have to be living a better life, a much, much better life. And they have to become part of formalized society, and we have to welcome them in. I think that's so important. Or you turn into like a Brazil, right? And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, where you have, like, it's crazy. I haven't been there in quite some time. Maybe it's changed, but like you have like the richest of the rich, like going in and out, and it's like super dangerous because you have all this money around you, and you're living in some of the poorest conditions in the world in these favelas. And Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't think we're necessarily going to go to that extreme, but nonetheless, we can, as I always say, we can learn from these mistakes of other nations and other cities around the world. So, in a way, that's the conversation that I was having this morning, Nicole, about specifically about I know you're talking about the environment, but like just the people are very much a part of that environment, and like talking directly about like the environment. We talked about this on when I did the emergency live stream with the water problems that we've been having here in Negril, and then also the morass burning. Like that also needs to be taken into consideration, but there has been money allocated for it. I'm not going to get into the details of re-wetting the morass. We can't forget about that. And I know that conversation has died down because the fires have literally died down. Nonetheless, that's something that we still need to push for. It's such an important part of the Negril ecosystem. And then the last thing I'll say is I mentioned this on Thursday on the live stream. Minister Vaz said that he's going to be announcing I believe he said the location. I believe he said the location of where the funds are going to go for the Negril International Airport. So for those who don't know, I forgot to mention that when Leah was on. Negril is going to be transitioning either the existing aerodrome to an international airport, or they're going to be going to a new location to create an international airport. So long story, I know. All right, let's get back to that view. So thank you for your comment and question there, Nicole. And Nicole says, exactly, well said, Throp. Looking forward to more discussions with you on the next steps to making Negril a more well-planned and complete community for all people. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, and I think those two words are very powerful, a complete community. And we talk, like, you guys wouldn't believe it or not, like, but I talk about this stuff all the time. As much as I talk about it here on the stream, like, these conversations continue. And, like, I feel like that's the sort of focus that needs to be made on Negril in order to, like, make these real changes. And real changes, I think real change is coming, but real change that affects like all people, like the average citizenry that we have here, is just continued dialogue. So like I talk about this stuff all day long. Anytime somebody's talking about it, like I want to sit, I want to learn, hear different people's perspective. And I think like that's really what it takes. All right, let's scroll up here. Justin asked, why is it called Little Haiti? Maybe it's maybe because it's kind of like Haiti right now, and it's gonna like, and I'm not even saying it like being facetious about that. Like it's rough over there. I haven't been there in a few years, but I can imagine it got worse than it was when I did go visit there. Justin says the fear comes from previous dealings and getting burnt by family and friends. It's a common theme among Jamaicans abroad. That's a good and fair point. And I know even to this day, it's just kind of crazy. You hear about people who are perhaps Jamaicans who were born here, who are living abroad, and they're doing well in their careers, and they're looking to build their home here, buy land, build their home, and they're getting their cousin or a friend of the cousin to do this part of the work or that part of the work. And yes, it's great, it's family, and perhaps there's some sort of innate trust there. But man, seldom have I heard or learned of an experience where you got your friend or cousin up the road that you knew and perhaps didn't see in 10 years to do something for your house, for your home, and it has worked out. And it's just like, man, you got to treat this thing like a business. You got to treat it like a business. And if you just call somebody out of the yellow page, there's certain level of skepticism in which you're going to operate in them building your dream home, or them doing your electric, or them doing your plumbing, etc., etc. And I think a lot of that is thrown out the window when you're bringing in family members or close friends. People get burnt all the time. And man, it's just so much better to hire a professional in the first place and going with a professional company than taking the risk and trying to help somebody that you very much care about. But at the end of the day, there's like an 80%, I'm making this up, but it's probably an 80% chance that you're going to get burned and get the bad end of the stick, so to speak. So just something to be careful of. And yeah, just to take into consideration when you're doing any, especially if you're going to be doing whatever kind of construction or project that you're doing from abroad and not being here physically. Chris Charles says, my hesitation is property management for absentee landlord. So good point. So there are ways around it. So there are companies and freelancers who do this specifically, like let's stick with Airbnb here, who manage different properties. There's different levels of management. So for example, you have South Coast. I'm gonna do a plug for Emma Watson, South Coast. I think it's called South Coast Villas. Yeah, so South Coast Villas JA, that's Emma Watson. She's been on my podcast, I feel like, and yeah, she's been on my podcast before. And I'm just gonna give her some free advertisement here. And what she does is she manages like all these beautiful properties, mainly on the South Coast. But she has done management. She does. I feel like she has one in Montego Bay as well. And so this is more along the luxury side of things. So this is I still have this video supposed to come out. This is the villa that I rented for my 40th birthday, and I did it through her, and it's a beautiful villa. And from what I understand is like her the property owners, like they love working with her because she manages the property, takes the headache off of management, off of them. She's super professional. And that's one thing that if you owned one of these beautiful villas, like you're gonna want to get an Emma to like a professional like her to manage your property if you're not going to be here. And there's levels to it, obviously. So if you were, say, managing, let's even right next door here at Negril Beach Club, you can get somebody to manage that property for you. And managing includes like if there's an issue with a guest, even like something breaks, yada yada yada. This is like you don't want to have to fly down here to deal with like a simple situation, right? You want somebody professional, somebody you can trust. So I would say this is like a great example of a great service that is offered for the absentee landlord who's going to be abroad. So there are solutions, is what I'm trying to say. Chad Wayne says, I think I might have to look into the logistics and feasibility of opening a property management firm in Jamaica. This would give people a bit more confidence to invest while being absent from Jamaica. I think it's a great idea. And I think you could do extremely, extremely well. There is, I believe Emma owns some property of herself, but like for the most part, there is no capital outlay. How you get clients, I'm not sure. But there is, even from these comments that you're seeing here, that there is a need for it. And I think, if you're going to invest 200, 300,000 US dollars into a property and you're going to do either Airbnb or maybe you'll have multiple properties that you're going to be doing long-term rentals, but you live in Texas, right? You kind of want to have that headache off of you so you can focus on the next thing and know that your property is in good hands, right? And so I think there is a lot of opportunity in that business model. All right. Thank you so much, Darnell. Really, really appreciate your support as usual. I can't thank you enough. Darnell says, great stream with exciting information as always. I'm excited about the airport and will be purchasing my first quarter next year. Yes, sir. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's so exciting. Very, very happy for you. Very, very happy for you. And thanks again, Darnell. Appreciate it. Chad Wayne says, Throp, I agree with you on the transformation of Jamaica, but how do we change the mindset of people like those in Little Haiti? How do we re-socialize them to reintegrate them into a new way of thinking? So good question. So the way I'm going to answer that is like, I'd like to believe that the fundamentals of a well-thinking society priority mindset is there in them as individual, right? And I'd like to believe that they do and would like to become part of the more formalized greater society and community if given the opportunity, right? And so one of the things I understand about these folks is that they're not from Westmoreland, and that's what happens a lot with these communities. That they're not from Westmoreland. A lot of them are from Clarendon. This is what I've been told. I don't know this is fact, but this is what I've heard. And they, you can't say that they've all moved here with ill intent. Have some of them? Yes, I think we can say that. I don't think everybody has moved to these squatter communities with ill intent. But perhaps looking for an opportunity. And then when I say opportunity, an opportunity at life, a lot of opportunity at a better life for themselves, an opportunity for a better life for their children. And I would like to imagine if they were put into a community, and I'm not talking about projects, I'm talking about like they're given land, they are given a home, and these are proper structures. This is, done with cement, decorated, everything, that there will be a sense of pride. And they have to come into society. They have to become productive members of society and paying taxes like we all do. And also them, even like I imagine like Negril Beach Park being built up and finally being refurbished, and it being this place that everybody in Negril, whether you come from here or not, can enjoy, and that they feel that they are a part of that, and they feel they are part of society. And I think that is probably the most important thing, is the feeling of belonging, and to be part of a community, and to be part of the forward movement of the community. And that also goes for their kids going to school. And I think it's important to build this great sense of pride. And I remember, I think the New Yorkers here can correct me on this, when I think it was the 80s and 90s, I think this was when New York was terrible. Was it no, it wasn't Giuliani. It was, I don't remember which mayor. Maybe it was Bloomberg. But anyway, the thing was, New York was terrible in the 80s, and there was graffiti everywhere, all on the subways, and it was one of the most dangerous places that you can go to, perhaps even in the world. And, going on the subway, going on the train at night, or for any part of the day. And one thing that they did was they cleaned up the physical aspect of the subways, and also even took off the graffiti and made it into a decent subway, a decent public way of transportation. And that in itself, I don't remember the exact percentage, but it significantly brought down crime and robberies on subways just by changing the environment itself. And I believe that by doing that with these folks and just society in general, and it doesn't necessarily even just have to be people who are in the squatting community, but elevating from one socioeconomic level to another, like it's automatically going to give you a sense of pride. And I think that would, by doing that, you're going to change the mindset, because I don't think like sitting down and I'm not saying that this is what you're alluding to here, but I don't think that sitting down and trying to like teach people things, I think it's just like, it's like bringing them in and letting them see that they are part of a society. And I see it with even like within our NEAT classes. And we have our NEAT classes, my family's nonprofit organization, and the Girl Education Environment Trust. And we have these 8-week courses. And we have students and we have the parents. So that is a requirement. You as a student cannot come in by yourself. You have to have a parent or a legal guardian come in along with you. And the parents go into their own classes and the students go into their own classes. And there is community and there's so much power in community. And I'm telling you, these kids and the parents feel as if they are part of something that is greater than themselves as an individual. And there is so much power in that, and there's so much pride in that. And they are very, very happy and very, very proud to be part of this program and be part of this just as like different mindset and different approach to perhaps than they're used to, and then perhaps that they're getting from their they're getting from the community and coming to these classes. And we absolutely need more of that. You know, we need more community building activities. We need more community building programs, which there are not a lot of here in Negril, unfortunately. And so I do believe that, again, changing a person's environment, changing where they put their head down to go to sleep at night, and they have a place that they could be proud of, and they could have people come over to have dinner, and they have friends could come over and do whatever, and their children can play on the front lawn. It's a different way, different level of thinking that I don't think we can really appreciate it until we start really seeing it. So that's just what I believe in, and what I think could really change the mindset is really making them part of a community. Because again, I see it with our NEET classes and our NEET parents, our NEET students. Like, it really, really is a community, and it really, I mean, I invite anybody who's in Negril, even if you're not staying at Travelers, come in and sit in on one of our NEET classes. I mean, it is really, especially towards the end, that 7th, 8th week, it's a family. It's a family. And it's just so crazy how much of an impact that you can see in behavior that you can have on the children, but also the parents in such a short period of time of just spending maybe 3 to 4 hours on a Saturday morning into afternoon over a period of 8 weeks, the adjustments in behavior, how people think. Mayor Dinkins. Thank you, Rochelle. Mayor Dinkins, an African-American man. He was before Giuliani. He was talking, this is talking about cleaning up the trains. Yep. I actually had before rest in peace, Mayor Dinkins, I had the opportunity to meet him on several occasions. Yeah, one of the best mayors that we've had in New York City history ever. Justin D says, I remember New York City from the 80s, 90s was peaceful compared to the 80s. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Chad Wayne says, Leia Lee, are you talking to somebody else? Oh yeah, I think you are. Sorry. I'll let you guys hash that out. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on, you know, changing mindset and changing, and then welcoming all these people into the more formal economy, into the more formal community. And I don't know of many other ways to do something of that nature. You know, you're not going to sit down and brainwash people. Like, they have to feel the effect. They have to, the sense of pride has to come from within. And, you know, I want them to be proud to be, I'm sure they're proud to be Jamaican. I want them to be proud that they're from Negril, that they're living in Negril, that this is their home. And even showing like a sense of pride of just like, hey, that you can't litter here. You can't throw, and having their kids and even the adults especially throw garbage in garbage cans. Like all these sort of like mini things that I think can have a disproportionate effect on our community, its mindset, and then also even just the way the community is treated. Char Treehouse says, Throp, I was in downtown Brooklyn in the 80s, crack vials galore, hoodlum, Giuliani, and Bloomberg brought big investments to consort with community groups. Dinkins. Right. And so, you know, that kind of also triggered another thought in my head. And so with the person who was saying at breakfast this morning, who was saying that like I don't on my program, like I don't talk about like the negatives of Negril or the risk, if you will, of investing in Negril and places like Little Haiti. And I know we talk about like gentrification on here, right? And I do think that if managed correctly, gentrification can be a good thing, because honestly, like This is, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But when we look at places like Nampa Road and Little Haiti, it's unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the Negril community, the existing Negril community, if you will, that is going to make that change happen, right? I don't think it's going to be us because we've been talking about it to like literally decades at this point. What I believe is going to happen is that there's going to be a bunch of people that move into Negril, and it's already happening. Like there are people who are investing in Negril with a decent amount of money that are used to a certain level of lifestyle, and they're not going to stand for these things, right? And it's that is, I believe that's what's going to happen when a certain level of income of people start moving to Negril. Then you're going to start seeing certain amenities start coming to Negril. Then you're going to start seeing like, oh, maybe it's time that the folks who are in Little Haiti, that we're going to move them into these apartments over here, or into this location over here. And I'm saying this because that's the only way I've seen it done. And I always bring up Brooklyn. And some people don't like me for bringing up Brooklyn, and they say like, yo, Jamaica is different from the US, it's different from New York. It is, of course, I recognize that. But there are parallels to be drawn from these examples. I mean, and humans are humans. Just like we talk about like how Airbnb in Barcelona has displaced many Barcelonians that have lived there and grew up there their whole life, and they've been kicked out because they can't afford to live there because of Airbnb. The same thing happened here in Jamaica, and Barcelona is nothing like Jamaica, right? The same thing is happening. So, moving to Brooklyn, and I've seen this. I forget who is it. Yeah, you're talking about downtown Brooklyn, right? And we've talked about this before. Like the only way, and I'm not saying the only way, like these Brooklyn parts of Brooklyn that were like cracked out, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I used to go to Brooklyn to visit my mom and stayed in Brooklyn on summers in the 90s, in some of the worst parts of Brooklyn back in the day, now have become the best parts of Brooklyn. And what happened? It was when the money came into these parts. That's what happens. Like that's the only way these things move. And even now, it continues to happen. The unfortunate thing with Brooklyn is just like with the gentrification, it's just like it's displacing people like crazy. And now you have people, even at my mom's shop, she's telling me there's people who live in Pennsylvania and commute to New York City. I'm like, that's crazy. That's unheard of. That was unheard of in the 90s and the early 2000s. But now it's becoming more of a regular thing because people cannot afford to live even in Brooklyn, Hudson Valley, I'm talking about upstate. Like these prices are becoming outrageous. So this is what I'm saying, like we can learn from, right? But let me just stick with the positive side of gentrification for a second. But with the gentrification came, all of a sudden we started seeing police in our neighborhoods. You know, we started seeing those I forget what they're called, but they're like these unmanned police stations that when they hear a gunshot, automatically the police gets called to that location. And you see them going, like once you see those, and I started seeing them in my neighborhood in Brooklyn. And once you start seeing those, then more of a police presence is coming. And then once the safety is there, then all of a sudden you start seeing places like coffee shops, like Starbucks. You're seeing, even if you go like downtown, like this junction, like I don't even know what it's called, but where the Target is, like start seeing these beautiful retail stores. Like that's what's going to happen. Like mark my words, like I haven't seen it done any other way because again, we here as a community, we've been talking about this forever. And we've made little to no progress with these things. So it's going to be interesting, but I do think, again, I think there can be some real positives to gentrification as long as it's managed correctly. And we're kind of thinking along these ways. It's like, all right, these people are people. Remember that. And they need a place to live and they deserve to live and to have a decent quality of life. And also we want to welcome them into the formalized community, so to speak. So let's get to some comments here. I am MJ876 says Times Square was a mess in the 90s. Yeah, I would even say I remember going to Times Square, yeah, late 90s. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is Times Square as like a teenager. Yeah, it was kind of the wild west out there for a while. I was like, damn. And then man, forget going an avenue left or an avenue right. Man, forget about it. Crazy. Chatterwayne says, Throp, well said, sir. You'd be an excellent mentor. Some of the people in these depraved communities remain in them because of the stigma society placed on them. But great idea. Kudos, Throp. Great job. Good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am MJ876 says, Dinkins was the mayor. Then Giuliani came and changed everything. Justin D says, and thank you for being a channel member for 26 months. I saw earlier. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, Justin. Justin D says, Airbnb is forcing locals out worldwide. Yeah, and it's something that should be like, and I said, this is like, we can learn from other big cities, small cities all around the world. We can learn from them. And just because they don't have a direct, it's not necessarily apple to apple, so to speak, that we're comparing, but we can learn from them. And I think Airbnb is a great thing. I was saying, I forget where we were talking about the Uber situation here in Jamaica, and I think Airbnb, for say somebody who is in Whitehall here in Jamaica, in Negril, or even in Red Ground, they're both kind of rough neighborhoods, but there are visitors who will stay in the extra bedroom and will stay on the couch. And to those family or to the individual, that is amazing, great income. And to me, it's like, we shouldn't stop that. I think it's a great opportunity. It's disruptive. And this is coming from a hotelier, right? And if you think about it, I am competing against them. I am competing against somebody who has an extra room, who has an extra couch. They are now my competition. Obviously, different product, different experience, but nonetheless, it's a room that they're selling for somebody to sleep. That's who I compete against. And that's the same thing that I'm competing against with, if you have a room in the Dominican Republic that you're selling for people to stay in, like, you're a competition. You may be a little bit further away, but you are still a competitor to me. And I am okay with it. Char Treehouse says, it's not that different from Brooklyn. Look at elevation of business storefronts. Small changes are a catalyst. Exactly. Yeah, even I mean, I'm telling you, like, even just the way society is, like, I'm just saying that when I say society, like the community of Negril is set up, and it's just like, if you just get it more modern, we're well lit, we got good roads, there's like this sense of pride. I'm telling you, it just changes the mindset and how people think about where they live, in the pride it will come with it. MJ876 says, a lot of people were moving to Pennsylvania and Atlanta in the 80s from New York. Rochelle says, like, Jamaica Avenue in Queens, totally gentrified. I haven't been there. I mean, I used to go to the Ave all the time in high school. And I haven't been there probably since high school. I mean, I could only imagine what it looks like now. I got to check it out. MJ76 says, Harlem has changed a lot since the 90s. Haven't been to Harlem. Actually, I went to visit my brother went to Columbia, so I visited him a couple of times while he was in school there. So I guess I have seen the change there. MJ76, there was a lot of prostitution in Times Square. Yep, definitely was. And it's just kind of crazy. Like, even when I was in high school, like, you're like, this is so crazy that this is Times Square, so to speak. The Times Square. All right, thank you all for your feedback. We're gonna get that survey out. I was gonna do it today, but I might not have time to do that. I might have to be tomorrow to get that survey out and get your formalized feedback on that. And then, as I mentioned before, the other thing that we talked about in the think tank session yesterday was just like a lot about tax stuff and just kind of giving. I just kind of gave my experience about taxes here in Jamaica, taxes in the United States, and just the importance of like my general recommendation. Whatever size your business is, get an accountant. It's just so important, especially if you're not familiar with. Excuse me, if you're not familiar with how the tax system is set up here in Jamaica, I think that's like the first person you hire. Understand how the tax system works, how to understand statutory deductions, GCT payments, the tax portal on the tax administration of Jamaica website. All of this stuff is like super, super important. And you don't want to get behind on the last thing I'll mention on this that some folks in the meeting didn't know about is the tax compliance certificate. This is like if you're a business owner here, it's like such an important document to have. There are just so many benefits. There's so many benefits to having it, and to work with a lot of corporate Jamaica, you need to have this. So this certificate is called a TCC, and in order to, like I said, work with many corporate Jamaica entities, you need to have it. So what it essentially is, this document says, is that you're up to date on all your taxes. So that could be your industry specific taxes that I don't know about, GCT taxes, your statutory taxes. This is what this piece of paper says. And I believe every 6 months that you have to reapply for it. So it's making sure that you're up to date on your tax filings and your tax payments. And with that, you're also, and I think this is very, very important, especially if you're a business that is even semi-reliant on importing things into Jamaica, is that different industries have different tax breaks based on whether or not you have a TCC. So, for example, here in the hotel industry, we have what is called the Omnibus Incentive Act. And that essentially allows you as a hotel or a guest house, Airbnb, for example, like, so if you have an Airbnb and you want to bring all of your decorations in, say from, I don't know, Pottery Barn, right? And you have a certain style that you're going for, and you don't necessarily want to go down to Boschko or Active Traders, and so they have great stuff there, but not exactly what you're looking for. You want to ship these things in, but you want to do it under the auspices of you being I forget it. I think it's a cottage license, but you're in the hospitality industry, you're in the hotel industry, for argument's sake. You want to be able to use your TCC so you don't have to pay an exorbitant tariff on whatever it is that you're bringing in, and you're under the umbrella of the Omnibus Incentive Act. So that's one piece of advice that I thought was important that everybody knew, and just kind of taking it from the conversation that we had yesterday. And you just want to keep up with it. And then same thing, I would say, even if I don't know about any other citizenry outside of Jamaica and US, but if you're a US citizen, the importance of paying your US taxes, or if you're say retired or whatever it is, like filing your US taxes. You have to continue to file, even if you're not living there. And it's just one thing just to really take into consideration, and just make a priority to have, and also to have a good accountant. So I just quick PSA on that. And I think that's it. I think that's all I had from our meeting yesterday. As far as what's going on this week, just remember the Jamaican Diaspora Conference is coming up a week from today. And I will be speaking on the first panel on the first panel day on the 17th. And I'm going to put in the comments here if you want more information. And if there is a specific day that there's only a day that you can make it, or a specific day that you want specific information or hear from a specific person, you can go ahead and do that. So I encourage everybody to check it out. If you want to come to my panel, it's on the 17th. It's the first panel on the 17th. So that's next Monday. Would love to meet as many of you as possible if you're around. I think it's going to be another really great conference that is being put on by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And the VM group is a big sponsor for it, hence the live streams that we've been having the last couple of Thursdays, as a matter of fact. And I think I think conferences like this are gonna be, it's always great networking. Great networking, people who are forward thinking, have Jamaica in in front of them as a place that they're looking to invest, looking to move to, creating a network. And I think I always say that's like one of the greatest things to have before you come here. Whether you're moving here, retiring here, going to spend an extended period of time, it's like really building out your network. And I was having a conversation yesterday with a developer designer, and we were talking, like I was saying earlier, about like, hiring your cousin or hiring your friend to do the electrical work and this and that. And one of the advantages of working with a professional is like they've gone through all of this. Like even me, like I've gone through the ringer when it comes to construction projects. Working on my dad's house, managing a construction project for one of my dad's friends, and like her getting burnt, and like I knew nothing about management. I knew nothing about construction back then, but I could put things in an Excel spreadsheet, and then hold people accountable for what they did with these materials, right? And it's like these sort of experiences that I've learned from through other people, to know not to do certain things and work with certain types of people. Again, types of people being people that you think you can trust, but I don't necessarily think you can. And so people like professional people, like they've gone through it themselves, right? And they know the carpenters that they can trust and can't trust. They know the electricians they can and can't trust. And because you've been burnt, or you think but you really don't know, unfortunately, is like one of those things that you've been down here long enough, you kind of go through it. And I think there's a lot of ways that you can skip these hard lessons by working with the right people. And another PSA, if you will. Chad Wayne says, throughout the beauty with the tax system is everything can be done online, including applying for your tax compliance certificate. This is one area of the government that is very much first world standard. And I will totally 100% agree and endorse that. I would even say the customer service at the tax administration of Jamaica is phenomenal. So patient. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Also, even in navigating the website, they are they take their time. They don't try to rush you off the phone. And even using the website itself is super seamless. And the way like I take it is like, this is a new, like relatively new system, like within the last 10 years. That's what I mean in terms of going like completely online. And so I think the government's approach, this is me speculating, has been that like a large portion of Jamaica is an age society that have been in business for a long time. So they knew when they were implementing these systems that a lot of the folks coming online weren't necessarily going to be computer savvy. And it's such an advantage, even if you know how to navigate around the computer a little bit, because you're going to speed through it. And I mean, I've said this before, but super kudos into like how the site is set up, but then also the customer service at the tax office. Even when I went down to Sav, when I got my TCC for my current business, it was beautiful service. I mean, super. I mean, you hear these things about government employees. I guess it depends which department you go to, but my last experience on the phone, online, and then literally and physically in person has been really good. So, this is something to take in consideration. Those who are thinking about setting up businesses, it's not this like crazy mountain that you have to get over and like something that you have to dread or anything like that. It has really changed, and it's been a positive experience for me, at least in my experience. Shauna says, I plan to be an experience at that's the Jamaican Diaspora Conference. Awesome. Sure. Dean says, whether we like it or not, Jamaica is going to change. For that change we have to give up something, i.e. land for the road network. We also have to do that for the infrastructure. Yep. The infrastructure is coming. The infrastructure is coming. And of course, like, we wish it were yesterday, but big moves are being made. Donna Bryce says, how do I find the cost of the ticket to attend a specific day on Thropex? So you can, it's there. So all of the days are laid out. If you go to thropex.com, I'll put that there. See, I need to start mentioning Thropex more. I'm promoting everybody else's conference except mine, right? Then we just go down these rabbit holes and stuff. But yeah, so Thropex, I'm gonna throw it up there on the screen. So Thropex is from November 17th to the 22nd. Would love to have any and all attend. And this is my Jamaica investment conference that I put on every year, every November. And I would say two of the biggest key highlights of that conference is we have 2 full days. And when I say full days, they are 8 hours and they are just ram-packed. Even at lunch, we are giving you information. So 2 days of panel discussions. And I bring in many, many people who I've had on my podcast who are professionals in their own right, in real estate, in mortgage lending, in equities, in financing. They come on and they lend their time, and we learn about what is happening in their world, different opportunities that are out there. We also do a panel on healthcare, which is something that I really, really want to start going into super, super, super heavy. I don't think this is talked about enough, both from the preventative side of things and then also even on the general care side of things. I really, really want to get into this. I just think it's just so important. I think even with that, there's just so much opportunity, and I hope I am able to attract certain healthcare professionals to the island, because I think there are a lot of opportunities here. Again, both on the preventative side and then on the general healthcare side. And so we have a healthcare panel as well. Many different types of panels over 2 days. And then the second, I would say, biggest highlight is the real estate tour, which everybody loves. And we go so many properties that are not for sale, that are not on the MLS, or that are, I would say, exclusive. And then in and around Negril, we go on this tour and we show you different properties, both commercial and residential real estate that is for sale. And to me, like, this gives you like a real sense of what you could be paying for, and what is $100,000, and what can you get for, say, $100,000 here in Jamaica compared to wherever that you're from, right? And what is a beachfront property look and feel like compared to something on the cliffs, or something that's more inland, or maybe across the road on the morass side of things. And I think this gives you a real sense of what real estate, what you could potentially be paying for real estate, and the value that you're getting from it. And last year when we did it, we sold a hotel, like I mentioned earlier. We were able to sell Coral Seas Cliffs. A group of people who attended the conference, all, for the most part, they were all strangers, but they were all throppers, and they came together, they pooled their money, and they bought this property for $3 million, and now they're turning a hotel and converting it into condos. So it's very, very possible. You never know what's going to happen at this conference. And like I said, like, these conferences, I think, are so powerful. The networking is spectacular. And I could say that for my own conference, it is absolutely 100% spectacular. I mean, top, and I'm not saying that, well, I guess maybe I'm saying it, but you guys are the best. You throppers are absolutely the best, like top tier, super high quality people. Like, and I'm really proud of this community. I really, really am. But yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity down there to talk about Thropex. But you can get your tickets at thropex.com if you want more information on it and what the panels can be like. You can take a look at it there. If you can't make the entire week, we've extended it 1 day. So that's another thing I would like to make mention, is that we had extended it 1 day because we realized last year is that people skipped the social day to go to open bank accounts, and also to relook at properties with real estate agents. And so the one thing that I want to do this year, or we are doing this year, is that if you need your TRN, you need to open a bank account, you want to open an equities account with, say, a VM or whoever it is, that we're trying to set it up so that you can do either the majority or all of the work in-house here at Travelers, where the conference is being held. And then as much as we can get done here, when we actually have to go to the physical place, it'll be an expedited process, and it'll be more like a concierge service than anything else. So you don't have to waste an entire day of going to do these things. And these are things that you have to have in order to do business here. You have to have a TRN, and then of course you have to have a bank account, and very, very important things. And we're trying to get those things out of the way because we want you to be out there, get out there, making moves, starting your businesses, buying your homes, getting the loans, all that sort of thing. It's important to start these relationships, and we want to just be that spark to allow you to have that happen. And you just have to just get it out the way. And if you can do it during a conference, why not? So we're going to provide that service this year. Delroy, they need to set up a tax office in Negril. So the thing, Delroy, is like Negril is not its own. We will. Let me take a step back. We will get a tax office if we become our own municipality. How's that? And I think eventually that will have to happen. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be so amazing to have that. I think it would be amazing to have our own courthouse here. I think those two things, oh my gosh, game changer for anybody doing business here. Really would be. Shauna says, it's about community building online and offline, being connected and engaged with like-minded individuals. It's so true. And it's just so powerful for those who have not experienced it. I remember my first ThropX. Oh my gosh. I'm like getting goosebumps thinking about it. The first ThropX. I think the first person I met, was it Simone? I'm not sure. I just remember she was sitting right here at this table. And I went up to her and met her and her husband. And it was just like meeting my people. I don't know how else to put it. It was just like meeting my people. And it was just very, for me, it was natural. But I could tell you in the beginning, like everybody, and I don't know if this is like a reflection of my personal personality of being an introvert. And I felt like at the time, like everybody was like super introverted. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be hard. And then as the days went on, like it was just like this, it was such a family so quickly because of what you're saying right now, Shauna, is about that community building online. And like we meet every week, sometimes twice a week on here. And you know, I don't know if we can feel in the moment like the bonds that we're formulating amongst each other. And then when we come into the real world, it's just so much easier to flow in, and we kind of know each other without knowing each other. I don't know. That's kind of like the best way to explain it. And like what's so awesome is that like so many of you, it's great. Like so many of you have become friends outside of the conference, outside of this community. And I know many of you stay in touch with each other on a regular basis. You support each other's communities. You support each other's businesses. You support each other's services. And it's just like such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's such a powerful thing. And I just think it's so awesome. And I really, really can't wait for ThropX again this year, because it just continues to grow more and more, and the bonds become stronger and stronger. And I think the impact that we're having on Jamaica and on especially Negril is becoming larger and larger and larger and more impactful. I mean, we sold a hotel, right? I'm not going to get into the other things that we've done. They've been a little controversial, but we've made some real changes and real headwinds, which I'm very, very proud of. Chad Wayne says, have a great Sunday, my fellow Jamaicans. The sun is down. Gonna go cut my lawn. Be safe. Catch you next week. Much love and respect to you all. Thank you, Chad Wayne. Have a great week. Vivian says, Suncoast is offering a coach ride to Suncoast Beach Club Development to view development. They're picking up people from the conference in Montego Bay. Wow. Yo, I like the way Kevin thinks, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And if you are going, if you are going to the Diaspora conference, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. It is actually, I would also say it's a smooth ride all the way there because you're gonna go from Montego Bay through Ochi through I think it's Highway 2000, and then you're gonna go around the new highway from essentially downtown Kingston to St. Thomas, and you get to see so much of Jamaica. So highly recommend that. I think that's going to be awesome. Thank you for bringing that up, Vivian. I wasn't even aware of that. Seema on the move. Hey, what's going on, Seema? Good to see you. Says it would be great to hear about the progress and process that Throppers use to partner on the purchase and development of the hotel to condo. Yes. So inside information, we're actually doing a shoot on it on this week. So we're going to be shooting it. I've already talked to the principal and also Moira, the realtor who made it happen. So we're going to be breaking it down, and they're open, and that's the thing about it. It's like they are not geek, and this is the type of people that I want to work with. And I feel like a lot of, I'm not going to name specific industry, but a lot of industries here, like they gatekeep information and they try to hug it up so they only get this piece of the pie, or they only are the ones who are making money and doing good. And like the mindset of the principal and then also Mora is like they want to see more of this happen. The pie is big enough for all of us to do extremely well. And if there is another group out there that can learn from this group and how they did it and copy the model, or maybe even take the model and make it even bigger and better, all the better. And it's just like we want to be the example, or they want to be the example, right? They want to be the example that people can learn from, and that other people can duplicate this process. Because we don't want to see properties in Negril that don't reach their full potential, right? And I think there is a lot of opportunity for people, especially as these are turned into condos. Like these are 30 more rooms in Negril, because I'm assuming that when these things are upgraded and refurbished, they're going to be absolutely beautiful. These are 30 more rooms in Negril that say a person like Leia, who wants to spend more time here and perhaps spend their winters here, now that they can, when they're refurbished, they can go stay there. That's at a level that they are used to staying at. It has the amenities that they're used to having, and that would not have existed a year ago, right? And that would not have been an option for her. And it's beautiful, and I can't wait to shoot this video. I can't wait to share that video with you. But I'm really happy that, again, the principal and also Maura are just so willing to share their journey, the ins and outs, the details of how they made it happen. So that is coming, Seema. Great question. Paul Williams says, good afternoon, Throp and Throppers. Thank you, Paul, for being a channel member. I most appreciate it. Paul Williams here, owner of Cali Cottages just across the road from Coral Seas West and Negril. I missed a good deal, but glad for those investors. Well, Paul, I don't, and I guess we'll learn about it in this video. I don't think this is the last time that they're going to do this. So that's not going to, this is not going to be the last investment of this nature. And I think that that's one of the things that they're going to open up with. And I'm sure, I mean, even when they posted it on Facebook, it was like an overwhelming amount of comments who were like, how do I get in? How do I get in? When's the next one? That sort of thing. So perhaps they're going to announce their next investment that they're going to be doing on the video. Maybe, I don't know. They're talking, and obviously, they told me what they're thinking, but I can't share that information with you. But I do believe they're going to do another one of this nature sometime soon. So it's not too late, Paul. Steve is asking what's TTT. That's Thropper's think tank. This is the once a month meeting that we do for the Patreon tier. It's $20 a month. We meet once a month on a Saturday afternoon, and we literally talk about whatever it is that you want. It's just like this. I look at it as like a consultation amongst a small group of people, and you can have your camera on. You don't have to. It can just be your voice, but it's just really a way of me interacting with you all directly and in real time, so to speak. Mr. and Mrs. Ming says, greeting beautiful Throppers and Throp. I'm a bit late to the party. Thought we want to give a special shout out to staff. Everyone went above and beyond. We felt at home. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I will let them know. Thank you. That's very, very nice to hear. Very nice to know. All right. I think we're going to leave it right there. The sun is coming down and it's like beaming on me right now, and it's already hot. It's already hot. Nope, that's not. There we go. That's the music I'm looking for. All right, I think we're gonna leave it there, everyone. This has been an awesome. This has been an awesome Sunday afternoon. Thanks to Leia for coming on and sharing about her coloring book series, the the African Diaspora. I think it was awesome. And Simone giving a shout out also. Read Simone's comment here. Simone says, happy Sunday, beautiful Throppers and Throb Wine. We want to give a special shout out to your staff at Travelers. Everyone went above and beyond to make sure we were comfortable, enjoyed our stay. Awesome. Thank you, Simone. I don't know if you heard, I was talking about you earlier. You were one of the first people that I met during ThropX, you and your husband. And just like how introverted we all are, as at least that's what I observe as Throppers, and then eventually at the end of the few days that we had together, like we all came together as a family, and it was just really, really awesome and really amazing. Thank you. Nicole says, transformative. Keep up the great work, Throp and Throppers. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Mosaic saying great live. Paul says, you're welcome, Throp. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, right? The most precious commodity that we all have is time, right? And the fact that so many of you spend so much time with me, like, I mean, it's the greatest thing in the world. And I really, really appreciate it that you're making a conscious effort to hang out with me here on Sundays, to watch my videos. And I just hope to just continue to deliver as much as possible on value more than anything else. So thank you all so much for your dedication to this channel, to this community. And we'll do it again next Sunday. I don't think we'll have a Thursday live stream this week, but we'll definitely have one on Sunday. So everybody have a great week. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you next Sunday. Peace, everybody. Enjoy the beach just for a few more minutes.